Another thing to be concerned about, cybersecurity has also been a big topic, especially these days with breaches at the Board of Water Supply, the bus system, and Queens, who all use the cloud-based Kronos system. So it begs the question, is our information safe, and could these kinds of attacks happen again? Well, joining us live from the Silanda Security Company is Attila Seres. Good morning, Attila.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and you know, a lot of people are really worried about this. You know, it hits close to home, especially when it impacts something as big as the bus system or the Board of Water Supply. So just how vulnerable are we as a society with so many companies using these cloud-based services?
Well, the Kronos is just the most recent attack that's probably been the most visible. But you know, as employees of those companies, of Queens, of Department of Transportation, we all depend on third parties to do these certain tasks of our business, and one of them is timekeeping. Now, Kronos, they were a victim of a cyber attack, and at this time, there has been no evidence that indicates that personally identifiable information, such as your social security number, name, date of birth, none of that has been exfiltrated or taken out and sold for profit. But you know, that could be a possibility later. So you do want to be vigilant about your personally identifiable information. Make sure that you check your credit report, and you want to also check with your manager. Make sure that there is a new timekeeping software, that you are using that. And if you're not using that new system, that there is a method of tracking your hours on pencil and paper.
And obviously, you know, on your phone and your computer, that's one thing. But, you know, if it's a company that you work for or a place that you do business with that you have no control over, is there any way to protect your own information when it's kind of out of your hands?
That's a great question. The best part is to only share the most minimum amount of information possible. And you also want to have good cyber hygiene, so good best practices. That means that you use unique passwords for every website that you use. And the easiest way to do that is by using a password manager. Many are available out there, and they all do a really good job of ensuring that each of your passwords are unique. You also want to be vigilant about the websites that you visit. Try to be a little bit skeptical about pop-up websites that are perhaps offering a deal that's too good to be true, especially now during the shopping season. And if you do use a site such as eBay, check out that seller. You want to make sure that you're dealing with a power seller, or at least a good validated seller with a long history of giving you good transactions. And of course, Amazon is a good safe bet. Be sure to go with a reputable seller for your shopping.
And just in the big picture, you know, just when a system like the bus system that a lot of people here rely on, or something like that, or our hospital system, just in the big picture, is that something that we need to be concerned about just as a society? And do these big institutions need to maybe invest in better protection?
Well, that's a very good point. There are a lot of new regulations coming down for federal contractors, those dealing with DoD contracts, either as prime and subs. And those kind of regulations are going to help protect us in the long run. And I do believe that many of these organizations, such as Queens, they are subject to these types of regulations, and they do their best to abide by them. But you know, these kind of cyber attacks, we're seeing more and more of them, not just because there's just more people who are after our data, but because they are getting smarter and better every year. According to the FBI, this has been the worst year yet. We're up over 600% from the year before, and it's just going to get worse from here on out. So we're going to see more and more of these stories.
All right, Attila. Well, we appreciate your advice. I know it's something that we all need to be aware of, especially heading into the holidays. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, we're off for a break right now. More stories and more weather coming up after the break. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. Your time now, 6:23. We'll be right back.